Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Hussain and I'm one of the RE consultants in Harris Federation, and I'm going to do a session on the 6 articles of faith and 5 roots of Usuluddin for the Islam belief section of the GCSE. So you can see on the checklist that is one of the first things you have to know for this part, the specification. Now, the articles of faith are 6, and these are seen as the foundations or the main beliefs in the Sunni Islamic tradition. These are the 6 main beliefs that are included in the 6 articles of faith, which is Tawheed, the oneness of God or monotheism, belief in angels, belief in holy books, belief in prophethood, belief in the Akhirah, which is the life after death, and belief in something called predestination. However, Shia Muslims have a different list, which is called the 5 roots of Usuluddin. Usul in Arabic means foundations or roots. So they're also called the 5 roots of religion. So these are the 5 beliefs that are contained within the Shia tradition. You've got Tawheed, which is the oneness of God, monotheism, Adalat, which is the justice of God, prophethood, imamate, and resurrection. So if I put both beliefs side to side, here is what they look like. So in the middle that is shared between both lists, you've got Tawheed, the oneness of God. You've got prophethood, so the belief in prophets. If we look at the differences in the list, you can see this. In the Sunni articles of faith, there's angels, but it's not in the Shia list. There's holy books in the Sunni articles of faith, but it's not in the Shia list. And there's predestination in the Sunni articles of faith, but it's not in the 5 roots of Shia Islam. What about in Shia Islam? Well, there are 2 unique beliefs there. There's belief in imamate and belief in adalat and justice. You can see there's one missing, which I'm going to put separately, but they kind of mean the same thing. In the Sunni articles of faith, you've got belief in akhirah, which is the life after death, but Shia Muslims have the belief in resurrection, which is part of the afterlife. So although these are worded differently in each list, they actually are about the same thing. They're actually about the afterlife. Now, how would these 2 topics come up in your exam? So these are the simple ways it would come up. So in your 4-mark question, it would say, explain 2 ways in which the belief in the 6 articles of faith influences Muslims today. Or it could say, explain 2 ways in which the belief in the 5 roots of Usuluddin influences Muslims today. So as 4-mark questions in the beliefs paper, you need to know, of course, you need to know the influence of these beliefs. So what does it make a Muslim do, think, feel? So we're looking for doing words. So here are a couple of examples of how you might want to answer this question. But before you look at my examples, do try it on your own, giving yourself a time limit of around 3 to 4 minutes. So how would I answer this question? Explain 2 ways in which the belief in the 6 articles of faith influences Muslims today. So you could say Muslims could be influenced to worship Allah. So notice there, I've got a doing word there, a practical thing. This is because one of the articles is to believe in Allah, so they would pray to him 5 times a day. That will get 2 marks for that paragraph as a developed point. Second paragraph, Muslims could also follow the example of Prophet Muhammad. That's my 3rd mark. This is because one of the articles is to believe in the prophets, so they would follow their example. That's now a developed point, and that is 4 marks out of 4. So notice that I've got 2 practical things that influence Muslims, but also I've linked it back to the articles of faith. The first one I've linked it to the belief in Allah. The second one I've linked it to the belief in prophets. What about this question? The belief in the 5 roots of Usuluddin, how does it influence a Muslim? So here's what I could say. And remember, these are specifically for Shia Muslims. Muslims could be influenced to follow the example of the Imams. That's my 1st mark. This is because one of the roots is to believe in Imamate, whose teachings are followed by Shia Muslims after Prophet Muhammad. So again, I've explained the influence of the belief in Imamate. Second, Muslims could also be influenced to be just, or you could say to be fair. This is because one of the roots is Adalat, and Shia Muslims would try to work for a fairer world. That would become 4 marks out of 4. I've got 2 developed points there, and both of them talk about influences. Now, obviously, we have not, unless you looked at the video on justice or on imamate, you might not understand this fully. But once you look at those videos, you'll be able to see how to answer this question properly in more detail. And now for the 6 markers, just a reminder that you have to have 2 developed points using a source and then also applying that source to the question. Now in this case, this is asking for 2 Muslim teachings about the 6 articles of faith, or 2 Muslim teachings about the 5 roots of Usul-ud-Din. Now, for these questions, what I would suggest you do is watch some of the other Islam beliefs videos and then maybe answer these questions, because then you'll be able to answer these questions in a bit more detail, because you'll then know what the 6 articles of faith actually are specifically and what some of the 5 roots are as well. Okay, thank you.